One of my favorite conversations to have in sports is what athletes could play professionally in a sport that isn't their own. The obvious one is LeBron playing in the NFL. I think OBJ could play football, basketball, or soccer at a professional level if he put the time in at one sport since he was a kid. We've seen people do more than one sport like Bo Jackson, Deion, Kyler Murray, and Russell Wilson got drafted in the MLB, but my favorite hypothetical is Megatron Calvin Johnson would be the best goalie in soccer history. His height, his range, and athleticism, he would be the GOAT. Well, we have another one we can actually talk about. About a week ago, the Tennessee Titans signed Adam Coon, who hasn't played football since he was a senior in high school. But since then, he has become one of the best heavyweight wrestlers in the entire world. He was a 4-time state champion wrestler in high school, 3-time All-American at college at the University of Michigan, and graduated with the 6th best winning percentage in the school's history. And now the 6'5", 300-pound freak of nature at 26 years old is going to dip his toes into the National Football League. Today I want to talk about what I think he could do, what impact he might have on the team, and also have a conversation of what kind of Pandora's boxes might open for Olympic athletes from other sports to come over like rugby or basketball. The first thing of the story that really surprised me is he intends to join the team as an offensive lineman, more specifically a guard. He did play offensive line in high school, but he also played linebacker and defensive end. Why this surprises me so much is no matter what position he would come into, he would be a decided disadvantage with training and technique. He's missing out on 4 years of college football, and people his age also have 4 or 5 years in the NFL already. Don't get me wrong, every single position in the NFL takes a ton of technique and years of training, but offensive lineman might be one of the most technical positions on the field. Not only with footwork and hand placement, but especially the awareness knowing different defensive fronts, different stunts, and blitzes takes incredibly high offensive IQ, especially playing for a contending team. It's disastrous if a lineman misses an assignment, the whole play can just get blown up, or even worse, cause your quarterback to take a costly hit. I was almost positive that he was going to try and be a defensive tackle. That plays really well into being a wrestler. The explosiveness, having low pad level would be so natural to him. There are some major consequences for not doing the right thing, but it's also a position that needs depth. While linemen is the same people, they play every down for 4 quarters. So right off the bat, that was the first thing that surprised me. That being said, Hall of Fame coach John Madden said that he wished all of his offensive linemen had wrestling backgrounds. This makes a lot of sense to me. Wrestlers have to be very light and quick on their feet. They have to be very good with their hands and very, very precise with the placement of their hands. My personal experience was not like that. When I was a quarterback, all my offensive linemen tended to get a lot of holding penalties. It was just so natural for them to wrap up and take people down, but that's probably not the case at the highest level. And according to ESPN, Adam Coon is currently the 3rd string right guard, but as he should be. It would be insulting to make him the immediate starter over other guys. I do think about realistic expectations, and what would be a huge win for him this year would be making the team. This is a project, and he won't start this year or probably for the next few years until he can really understand the game at a high level. However, there is no doubt he's a freak athlete, and this is really exciting news because I think it opens a completely new conversation. We've seen basketball players come into the league and be elite NFL players like Jimmy Graham, Antonio Gonzalez, and Antonio Gates. These are Mount Rushmore tight ends in the league's history, so it can absolutely be done. We've seen soccer and rugby players become very successful kickers in the league, but what about other positions? The one I always thought was really fascinating was rugby becoming special teams players. Rugby is a sport a lot about running in the open field, having 360-degree field of vision. The 49ers actually signed a rugby star, Jared Hayes, to be a punt returner. Even though he had a very impressive moments in the preseason, he didn't make too much noise in the regular season. But this is just one example. I am shocked that there hasn't been a lot more since, and I really think there should be. There's an idea of wrestlers, sumo wrestlers becoming linemen, MLB guys that are extremely fast, or Joe Mauer, who is a high school football Gatorade Player of the Year. I absolutely love the idea, and I think this could be an amazing conversation, but unfortunately it doesn't happen all that often. But this is where I want to leave it up to you guys. I want to have some very good conversations with you guys in the comments, hearing about what sports you think would translate well to the NFL, or give me specific players. I thought this was way too interesting not to share with you guys. I was so excited when I saw this, and I thought this was really interesting. I hope they find a spot for him on the team where they can progress him, and maybe in a few years he becomes a stud offensive lineman, because being at the Olympic level is not easy to do, and I feel like wrestling would translate over really well, so I hope they can get him on the team. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is realistic, or do you think transferring from one sport to another is just way too hard and you need to put in the hours like once you were a kid? Let me know down in the comments. I cannot wait to have this discussion with you guys. Make sure to like the video if you like this video, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. I appreciate y'all so much. You guys are so awesome, and as always, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.